And On3 has added another Notre Dame signee, and they have picked up that 5-star status. So kind of give us a thumbnail sketch. There seems to be a lot of 5-star recruits in this last Notre Dame recruiting cycle.
Yeah, Darren, I did an article at Blue and Gold today titled "How many 5-star recruits did Notre Dame sign in the 2024 class?" And I kind of opened the article by writing, to answer that question, we got to also ask, what do you define as a 5-star? Is it, a player just needs to be listed as such according to one of the websites, or, any of the composite or industry rankings? Or is it just your favorite website? Or is it a player who, CJ Carr was ranked as a 5-star when he was a sophomore. He's a 5-star no matter what to me now. Like he is. So it kind of depends on that. For this article, I looked at each of the 4 websites, their final class of 2024 ranking. So those 4 websites being, you got On3, 24/7, ESPN, and Rivals. In their own rankings, did any of them rank 5 stars? Any Notre Dame players rank as 5-star? On3 was Gerby Lambert. He got the bump to 5-star status on Monday. And then if you look at all of the different rankings, and the highest ranked prospect in the national list was Lambert, number 18 at On3. Number 2 offensive tackle in the country. And I interviewed On3 director of scouting and rankings, Charles Power, Monday. And he said there was a real discussion about Lambert being offensive tackle 1, like the number 1 offensive tackle in the class. And that's even in mind that he didn't get to play in the All-American Bowl, and he's still, ranked as a 5-star. Rivals has Kingston Viliamu-Asa, the outstanding linebacker for St. John Bosco, as a 5-star prospect, number 19 overall, number 2 linebacker in the country. He's a top 100 player across the board. I think that's very well deserved. And then 24/7 Sports listed Bryant Young's son, Bryce Young, as a 5-star prospect, and I believe the number 24 overall player, number 6 edge. So 3 5-stars across the board, and then the 24/7 composite On3 industry ranking, which those 2 are industry averages with all the 4 sites, and then ESPN. None of those 3 had it On3. Notre Dame listed with a 5-star signee, but again, On3, Gerby Lambert, 24/7 Bryce Young, and Rivals, Kingston Viliamu-Asa. So I think that's interesting. You talk about Notre Dame needing 5-star players, that whole discussion. While I think it's kind of overblown, because when you talk to like the actual scouting and rankings guys about this, the guys who actually do the rankings, it's more about the grade and the positional ranking. The 4-5-star term is really just for fodder on message boards and social media. It's more about the grade and that whole thing. So, but I still thought it was interesting to kind of note that at least one of these major websites, 3 of them had Notre Dame listed with 1 5-star player.
Mike, you've done a great job at blueandgold.com.
Well, thank you, Darren. I mean, you don't need to continue that sentence. I've just done a great job. That's all I need to hear.
In this particular case, let me see. There's the other 6 I could mention in a second, but you know what? Let me just say this. You do a great job of letting people know where the coaches are, what they're doing, who they're visiting with. Is this the time of the year any kids are visiting Notre Dame?
Yeah, so Notre Dame's big recruiting weekend, one of the biggest recruiting weekends of the year, was on the 20th for Junior Day. You had 11 of the 14 commits. It would have been 12, but one had to cancel due to weather. Several 2025 commits, even a 2025 targets, a big 2026 quarterback recruit for the Irish, who I wrote about at blueandgold.com today. He was on campus. So that's really been it for January. Notre Dame had a preferred walk-on candidate this past weekend. That's the only player on campus to my knowledge. And then this Thursday, a really intriguing prospect, Javion Campbell from Kentucky. He's listed at 6'6", 230. My understanding is he's more like 260 now, so I don't think we might need to update that. He's listed as an edge prospect, more of an interior guy for the Fighting Irish, again, because I think he's beefed up a good bit. And I understand why On3 hasn't up, like this is behind, because he's just now blowing up as a prospect. He got his first like Power 5 offer like a week or 2 ago. So Notre Dame has offered him recently, not a robust offer list yet. I mean, you got Vandy, Notre Dame, Purdue, Cincinnati, West Virginia, Again, it's not a big time offer list just yet, but this is an evaluation by Notre Dame. So if you're someone who's like, man, I don't want to see Notre Dame offer unranked players. I don't want to see them. Bryce Young, who is, again, we just talked about, is a 5-star according to 24/7 Sports. Notre Dame was the first school to offer him. Now, I get that they, had a little bit of a leg up knowing about the young man because he's Bryce Young kid, but still, like, Notre Dame can evaluate a defensive lineman. I think that's an area that they do a really good job at. So they have 4 defensive linemen committed. They're going after a 5th in Damian Shanklin. They might take up to 6 in this 2025 recruiting class. I think Javion Campbell is going to be a name to keep an eye on. Visiting Thursday. We've posted a couple stories about him at blueandgold.com today. So, this week. So you can check that out. But yeah, Notre Dame offered him this month. I've seen him on the road a couple times. Once last week, and I believe once this week. So yeah, which should be he's an interesting prospect, new to the game of football. Blue and Gold Cal Kelly has done a really good job covering that recruitment. So again, be on campus Thursday will be one to follow.
Okay. Well, Mike, a lot is happening at Blue and Gold Illustrated. We've talked about several things right now in this interview. Does the offer still stand for new subscribers?
Yeah, $1 for 2 months. That really doesn't get much better than that. So head over to blueandgold.com. If you're a new subscriber, use the promo code UND1 when you sign up, and that'll get you $1, 2 months for just $1. You really can't beat that offer.